We need to come together. First and foremost, we need to come together as people who trust God, as people who seek God's help. This week I'm preaching on 1 Kings chapter 17, verses 1 through 16. But I want to look at just verses 8 through 16 right at this moment. Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah, saying, Go now to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and live there, for I have commanded a widow there to feed you. So Elijah set out, and he went to Zarephath. When he came to the gate of the town, a widow was there gathering sticks. He called to her and said, Bring me a little water in a vessel so that I may drink. As she was going to bring it, he called to her and said, Bring me a morsel of bread in your hand. But she said, As the Lord your God lives, I have nothing baked, only a handful of meal in a jar and a little oil in a jug. I'm gathering a couple of sticks so that I can go home and prepare what little we have for myself and my son. We'll eat it as our last meal, and then we'll die. Elijah said to her, Oh, do not be afraid. Don't worry. Just go, do what you've said you will do. But first, make me just a little cake of it and bring it to me, and afterward, then make something for yourself and your son. For God has told me that jar of meal is not going to go empty, and that jug of oil will not fail until the day that God sends rain. And she and her household, they ate for many days, and the jar of meal never got empty, and the jug of oil never ran out. That was all according to the word of the Lord that was spoken to Elijah. So they're in pretty desperate circumstances. No rain, and just this little bit of food that just keeps miraculously going and feeding them for days and days. And we're kind of facing similar situations in the world right now. Not really being able to stop the bad things that are happening, and not really knowing when things are going to go back to what we think of as normal. We can't change what is happening, just as the widow and Elijah, they couldn't change the fact that there was a drought. They couldn't make it rain. But they could work together and trust God and stay together and care about each other for as long as it lasted. And that's what I see our need. We need to come together. First and foremost, we need to come together as people who trust God, as people who seek God's help. And we need to pray together. And then we need to share. We need to share whatever we have and trust that it's going to be enough. And somehow God is going to get us through. The community that God calls us to create takes care of everyone in the group, accepts their needs, doesn't tell them, well, you have to believe this or you have to do this. No, we feed the hungry and we share the resources we have. And we just trust in God's love and share it generously and hold on to our faith that together we will get through, and we will let God work. Let God work through us, and just together look at the good things that God does when our trust and our faith are true and solid.